Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a fabulous Monday. Today I'm coming at you with our weekly Minks Monday Q&A. Before we get started, let me share the bag that I'm currently rocking, and that is the Chanel mini rectangular flap in the black caviar leather with the light gold hardware. Alright, so grab your coffee, grab your tea, let's start your workout, let's go to work, let's do your laundry, whatever it is that you do, come join me. We have some awesome topics to cover today. Starting with the first question from Pink Coffee. What do you think of sites like Bag, Borrow, or Steal? It's like Netflix for bags. Do you think people being able to pay $200 or more to rent a bag for the month is great use of their money so that they can get a feel for the bag before committing and spending the whole $1,000 plus? Or do you think that those sites cheapen the bags? Or are they a way for others to just show off and pretend that they have a large collection on social media when they don't? I would love to hear your opinions on the matter. This is a fabulous question, and do I think that it cheapens the bag? I don't. The way that I look at it, it's kind of like on a larger scale, kind of like leasing a car. It's the same thing. After your lease, you're able to purchase the car because you really like it. And when it comes to Bag, Borrow, and Steal, you're able to purchase the handbag after your trial if you wanted to, or you can end up sending it back. Bag, Borrow, and Steal have been around for a very, very long time. And while I do agree that it's a fantastic way to be able to try out the bag that you're looking to get, whether it's a holy grail, whether it's a bag that you've had your eye on for quite some time, I don't necessarily agree with their pricing. I feel that their pricing is just a tad too steep. And it really depends on the style. It really depends on the brand that you're looking to rent, because some of them are a little bit more than others. For example, I think some are as low as $75 and others are as high as $225. It's just a matter of the type of brand and the style that you're looking for, as I mentioned. So I do think that the pricing is a tad excessive, but like I said before, it's a great way to be able to try out that handbag, because if you end up going for a handbag, let's say that's no name, it's no name brand or anything like that, and you want to get a feel for the type of structure that the bag has to see if it'll end up suiting your lifestyle. In the long run, when it comes to going that route, you wouldn't really be able to experience how the bag would wear, because they will have different quality, they will have different details that the original bag has that the other one doesn't have, you know what I mean? So this way you're able to try it firsthand, exactly the bag that you're looking to get. So I do love that aspect about it, and unfortunately, I would like to assume that everyone on social media that takes pictures or shows the bags that they have in their collections are the bags that they have in their collections. I know that might not be the case always, and to each their own. I'm not here to judge, but I would like to assume. I would like to assume that everyone has the bags that they say that they do, you know what I mean? But like I said before, I think that this is a really, really great way to try out the bag. And I feel that if it is the $200, if it is the $150 to try out the bag versus spending the $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and then you end up, in a sense, getting stuck with a bag, and then you go to resell it, what if you end up losing 50% of the purse, or 50% of the pricing? Then in my eyes, I feel that I would end up doing this first just so I can really see truly if it ends up working out for me or not before I decide to go that route. And then at the end, like I said before, you're able to purchase the bag, and they end up deducting the price that you have from, if I'm not mistaken, it's been quite some time since I've been on the website, but they end up deducting the price that you had for the rent, like the rental fee, and then they take that away from the total price. So it's not like it's an additional $200. Like I said before, I could be wrong, but last time I checked, that's how it was. But like I said, they've been around for a very, very long time. I just wish that the pricing was just a tad friendlier. We'll put it that way. But hopefully that was able to answer your question. Next question from Aaron Scotts. No shade, no offense, but there are so many luxury YouTubers out there. Do you think that there is something different you do that others don't, or that sets you apart? This is a fantastic question. I was a little conflicted as to whether or not I wanted to answer this, but I definitely didn't take offense to it or anything like that. The reason why I was conflicted is because when it comes to YouTube, I feel that every YouTuber has their own style. They have their own flavor that they bring to their own channels, and they all have different interpretations of luxury goods or shoes or anything else. It doesn't necessarily have to be luxury goods. So I feel that you know, for me, I don't like to compare myself to any other YouTuber. I feel that I'm kind of in my own little world when it comes to my channel, even though a lot of us do very similar videos, you know, but like I said, we all have different interpretations, different takes on it. And for me, it's about just having the personality just come through. And that's why I've said before, I am the same crazy on camera that you guys would see out and about. I'm probably a lot louder outside. You will really hear my jolly ha ha ha, my laugh, you know, if you guys ever see me outside. But I'm the same person, and like I said before, I don't like to compare myself to any other YouTuber. But is there something different that I do that someone else doesn't? Oh man, this is a tough question. I'd have to say, I think that I'm pretty similar, I guess. If I am to compare myself, I'm pretty similar to everyone else. There is one aspect, actually. There's one aspect of my channel that I am very, very proud of, that I really, really love. I mean, I love my channel, the entire thing, but there is an aspect that I am very happy with the way that it's turned out, and that is reviews, how I end up doing reviews. And the reason why I'm so proud of it is because when I looked at my older videos, when I would do reviews, I felt that they were kind of muddled. I felt that they were kind of all over the place, and I would sit there and say, oh, it's such a pretty bag, it's so pretty, but it's so pretty. And I felt that, you know, I would often look at the old videos and I would sit there and say, okay, it's pretty, but what? You know, why is it such a great bag? Why is it this? Why is it that? We all know it's pretty. That's why we're looking to add it to our collections. But I wanted to give more information. I wanted it to be a little bit more concise. I wanted to be a little bit more direct. So that's why I kind of developed the way of doing reviews by doing the pros, the cons, the recommendations. And now I started to incorporate mod shots because a lot of people want to see how the bags look on my body frame. But like I said before, I looked at the old videos. I didn't like the way that it was, the way that they were done. They were just all over the place. Really hard to follow because it was just kind of conflicting information sometimes, I felt. But then I decided to just do like bullet point type of reviews, you know, just here's the information, here's this, here's that, and then that way the person can make a decision to see whether or not the bag is for, you know, for them. So that's why I wanted to do the, you know, I say the good, the bad, and the ugly, but the pros, the cons, and the recommendations. And I really like that style that I started to do on my videos. I've been doing it now for 2.5 years that way. And I just like just having all of that detailed information right up front, because there's more to a bag than it being beautiful. There's more to a bag than it being a Chanel, than it being a Louis Vuitton. And when it comes to my channel, I've said it before, I am going to be 100% transparent when it comes to luxury goods, because I don't think that, while I do love these luxury fashion houses, I appreciate what they, I mean, the quality that they have and the history of the fashion houses. I love that aspect. But just because something is expensive doesn't necessarily mean that it's always the best of the best. You know what I mean? So that's why I wanted to incorporate the cons, because, you know, the boy bag, for example, I love the silhouette that it has. I love the edginess that it has, but the chain drives me crazy. And I feel that it's important to give all of those, you know, all those tidbits, all that information, because I feel that it's kind of like a platter of details. And here's, you know, what you have to choose from as far as, of course, these are all my own opinion because they're my handbags. But that way you can decide whether or not it works out for you. And that's also why I wanted to do the FAQ videos, because I feel that it's even more information out there. And I am all about information. I am, you know, I love the luxury goods, as I mentioned. I love those details. I love everything else, but I want to know more. I want to know why it works, why it doesn't work, why it has this feature, why this detail drives me crazy, or anything like that. So, that's a little, that's a little bit of a tangent, right? But I'm very proud of how I do reviews. I'm very excited of how I decided to do that. And there might be another, you know, there might be another way, a better way of doing it, but I like the way that I kind of interpreted it in my own style. So I don't know if that's the answer that you were looking for, but it comes straight from the heart. So hopefully that was able to answer your question. Next question from CL Loves Purple. How did you come up with your closing statement in all of your videos? It's cute and oh so true, but I'm curious as to how you started using it and how long you've closed this way. Great question. And how did I come up with a closing statement? To be honest, it's a slight spin on something that I remember from middle school. In middle school, the principal would always talk into the intercom before we started the day. We would do the Pledge of Allegiance. He would tell us about current events, if we had a dance coming up or anything like that. And then at the very end, he would always say, make it a great day or not, the choice is yours. And it just made a whole lot of sense to me, because I feel that, you know, there might be an event in our lives, or there might be someone in our lives that's bringing us down, and ultimately it's up to us whether or not we let that take hold of us, have that big of an effect on us. Of course, it's always easier said than done, and there might be certain circumstances, there might be certain events that are incredibly hard to shake, but for the most part, you know, I consider myself to be a very positive person, and I always want to see the silver lining in everything as much as I can. So when I come on here and I end my videos, it's also a daily reminder to myself to make it a fabulous day or not. Because, you know, great is wonderful, but fabulous is fantastic. And it's more, like, that's why I said it's a slight spin. But like I said, it makes a whole lot of sense to me. And I wanted to kind of put that out there because of the type of person that I am, because of how positive I am. So I've been closing the same way for close to 4 years now. I've been on YouTube for 4 years. I think it was only the first couple of videos that were really, really awkward as far as how I ended them. But once I started saying that, it just, you know, I remember it vividly. I remember hearing it for so many years when I was in middle school. And sometimes it might sound so silly. Sometimes it takes a small, you know, someone to say something so small that just has such a huge impact. So that's exactly what it was for me. And every time I think about it, you know, I just feel like it's a new day. I'm so excited to see another day, and I want to make the best of every single day. So that's why I decided to close that way. And it just brings a smile to my face whenever I say it, because I sincerely, you know, from the bottom of my heart, I feel that way. So hopefully that was able to answer your question. All right, next one from Harmony JL. How do you change your bag so often? Do you keep multiple essentials around and in most commonly used bags, like a pair of sunglasses in each bag that goes with it, or a pack of tissues? Wonderful question. And do I keep multiple essentials in my commonly used bags? I don't. The only thing that I keep in my bags when not in use is air paper, only because I'm so OCD about what's in the bags. I want to make sure that they keep their shape. But for me, how do I change bags so often? I think because I've been doing it for so many years, I kind of developed a system to where I know what works for me and what works for my lifestyle. And when it comes to changing bags, it's all a matter of my mood, the weather, if it's raining or not, or if we're going to an amusement park, if we're doing something where I need a bigger bag or a smaller bag or anything like that. So for me, it's very easy to go from a bigger bag to a smaller bag, just because I know, like I said before, what works for me, and I've been doing it for so long that it's just kind of like second nature. It's just like, oh, okay, bam, 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 this is what I need, and I'm good to go. I'm out the door. Once upon a time, many years ago, it used to take me, no joke, like an hour, an hour to figure out what I needed to carry. I'd sit there and I'd think, okay, I need this, but maybe I need that. And it was, it was tedious in a sense, but it was also, I don't know. I feel like I would stress out about it. And it sounds so silly saying it, but it's true. But now, fast forward, I've been doing it for so long that it's just like, bam, I know I need this, and Robert's not sitting on the couch waiting for me to finish, what I'm gonna do to put in my bag, because most, how they say that sometimes men are always waiting for women because of their makeup or their outfits. For me, it's not my makeup and it's not my outfit, it's my bag. That's how it used to be, but now it's my outfit. But no, that's really all it is. I figured out what works for me, and I just kind of end up sticking to that. But great question. Next question from MZ Shoop. I have a question about the Chanel Espadrilles. Do you have any issues with the bottom sole rubbing off? I'm wondering if it's something that I can take and get fixed at the boutique. Fantastic question. And I decided to bring out my most used pair of Chanel Espadrilles just so we have a little bit of eye candy and I can share how the soles have been rubbing because I haven't had any issues with the soles on any pair that I have. So here is the most used pair, which is a black lambskin. And I think that they've aged pretty well considering how much I've used them, but here's the bottom. They're a little dirty, so my apologies for that, but they have worn quite evenly, so I'm really happy about that, and I haven't had any issues with the stitching along the side either. But I can tell you that I had purchased a pair of espadrilles, a red pair of espadrilles, and the reason why you guys haven't seen them is because I opted against them, but they had a slight stitching problem, and I called the boutique where I purchased them at, and it was, you know, like I said, it was a slight stitching problem. It kind of bothered me, but I asked them if that's something that could be taken care of, if it could be repaired or something like that, and they gave me a phone number to a Chanel shoe repair specialist. And they said that there's a lot of things that they can do for the shoes. The soles is one of them, I believe. Stitching. There's a few things that they can end up fixing, like the dye on some of the shoes. But they said that there's a lot they're able to fix. So I would end up calling your local sales associate or your local boutique and talk to your sales associate and just let them know the issue that you're having with the sole, and hopefully they'll be able to get you in contact with a repair specialist, and hopefully that repair specialist will be able to fix your espadrilles. But that leads me to wonder, I don't know if you guys are aware, but Chanel has since released a new wave of espadrilles, if you will. So they have the regular espadrilles, and then they have a little bit of a platform, because I have heard a lot of people saying that they've had issues with the soles rubbing off or wearing kind of wonky, or sometimes they end up just, it's almost like they end up coming apart. So I'm wondering if the reason that they're introducing the sole, besides wanting to revamp the style a little bit, maybe that's their way of testing the waters to see if the sole will end up wearing better that way. And then I will put a link to I think that they're on the website by now. If not, then I will find a picture somewhere, and I'll put a link on the description box below so you guys can check it out. But they're just like this, and they have a little bit more of, not a platform, it's a little bit more of like an added sole to it. It's almost like there's two soles on the, not two soles because there's only one, but it's almost like there's two different parts on the bottom of the espadrille. So like I said before, I'm wondering if that's why they decided to introduce those, but who knows. But like I said, definitely call your boutique and let them know, and they should be able to get you in contact with someone. So hopefully that was able to answer your question. Next question from Tasha Gibbs. I was wondering which Louis Vuitton wallets fit inside the Speedy B comfortably through the opening without having to put them at an angle. Wonderful question. And if you're talking about the Speedy 35 or the Speedy 30, it's a little bit easier to be able to fit the larger wallets inside without having to put them at an angle. But if you're talking about the Speedy 25 bandolier, just because of how small the opening is, if you go onto the Louis Vuitton website, they have a section strictly for compact wallets. So really any compact wallet would be perfect to fit inside of that opening. And some of the ones are like the Victorine wallet, which is gorgeous. It's very small, it's very compact, but it fits quite a bit in there. Another one is the Zippy multi-carts, and it's kind of like this. It's kind of like the Chanel one. You open it up, it's a little bit more, it's not as tall as this one is, but when you open it up, it also has the same type of compartments that this one has. But really any one of those compact wallets, and I feel that as the years go by, when it comes to compact wallets, they end up sometimes fitting way more than the full-size wallets do. So if you're a little bit worried as to how much they can end up fitting, you'd be surprised, because I've kind of mentioned it before. With this Chanel O-Zip, I'm able to fit everything that I would fit inside of the Chanel Zippy wallet or the Louis Vuitton Insolite wallet into here. So looks can be very, very deceiving, but like I said before, if you check out their compact wallet section, they have so many to choose from. They have so many different prints, so many different leathers, but I think that you'll be able to find quite a bit on there, and really it's a matter of deciding which one ends up working out for you. But I will put a link to the compact wallets in the description box below if you wanted to have a little bit more information, but hopefully that was able to help. All right, next question from Dan and Beatty. hopefully I said that correctly. You have discussed several times how much you love Dior and their service, so what is holding you back from making a bag purchase from the brand? Fantastic question, and yes, I have praised Dior quite a bit through Minks Mondays, especially last week when we were talking about customer service. And to be honest, I think that I'm in a place in my life where I want to focus on the forever bags, and I'm a lot more apprehensive. I'm a lot more selective as to what gets added to my collection. And when I say forever bags, of course that can always end up changing because I can change my mind you know, month to month, day to day, hour by hour, who knows? But for the most part, I want to make sure that I end up adding bags to my collection that, number one, make my heart sing, and number two, end up working out for my lifestyle. So until I know that, you know, the bag is something that I want to keep for a very long time, if not for forever, for at least, you know, a couple years, then that's why I kind of look at it kind of like a calculated way. You know, I want to make sure that it's the right bag for me. I've kind of dealt with the whole ups and downs, the, you know, the bags that don't work for me or anything like that. And now I just want to focus on getting those bags that are just perfect, something that I can really incorporate into my lifestyle, and plus something that's very, very versatile, because you guys know I always talk about versatility. So I think that's the only thing that's holding me back, whether it's Dior, whether it's Saint Laurent or any other fashion house. They might be beautiful, they might be fantastic, but until I know that they 100% work for me, then I think that's the direction I'll go. And to be honest, sometimes, and I completely understand this, sometimes it takes buying a bag and seeing if it works out for you, and it might not end up working out, you know, in the long run. It's a matter of trying out that handbag. But like I said, I want to just be I want to be as sure as I can when it comes to adding those bags to my collection. So I don't know if it makes sense or not, but hopefully that was able to answer your question. But Dior definitely has caught my eye more than once, more than 10 times. I can't even tell you. I really do foresee a Dior bag on my, you know, it's on my radar, probably more than another fashion house. It's actually between that and the Saint Laurent. Those two are the ones that I kind of go back and forth on. And to be honest, the Dior wallet on chain that I talked about last week kind of pushed it a little bit like higher up on the wish list. You know, it kind of solidified how I felt about the wallet on chain as far as Dior goes. So we'll see. I'm all types of crazy, but hopefully that was able to answer your question. All right, next one from Charlotte Parnell. Hopefully I said that correctly. I've been looking to purchase a Speedy B25, but I'm not sure which print to get. I've been looking at the Empreinte monogram since I love the extended side zipper and the muted appearance of the monogram print. Fabulously put. Keeping this in mind, how does the Empreinte leather hold up over time? I've heard that older styles have lost their shape, while the new models Speedy B and Empreinte maintain their shape better. Do you think Empreinte would be a good choice, or am I better off buying it in the monogram canvas? Fantastic question, and I briefly touched base on Empreinte leather on my Pochette Matisse frequently asked questions video. I'm a big fan of Empreinte leather. What I really like about it is how incredibly carefree this leather is. I mean, you can use it in the snow, in the rain, I mean, any type of weather. So I do love that aspect about it. And I will have to agree with what you said. It does have that beautiful muted appearance with the embossing on the leather itself. It's something that I find is very beautifully done. And I feel that when it comes to Empreinte leather, it kind of tends to elevate whichever bag you end up choosing the print in, you know what I mean? But one thing I do have to note about Empreinte leather, while the new Speedies have definitely kept their shape a lot better than the previous styles, the other ones seem to lose their shape very, very quickly. These are a little bit more structured, so I do love that aspect about them. I felt that the Speedy bandolier or the Speedy 20 bandolier, when I tried it on in Empreinte, for some reason I kind of felt that it protruded off of my body frame a little too much, which is kind of bizarre, but it felt like it was a little bit more bulbous, which is, you know, it doesn't make sense because it's a Speedy nonetheless. But I will have to say that when it comes to Empreinte leather, something to take into consideration is that the embossing, as beautiful as it is, over time, or as you end up using the bag, it might end up softening up, it might end up flattening out. So if it was very prominent once upon a time, it won't be as prominent as the years go by or as you use it. It's all a matter of how, you know, how often you end up using the bag. I don't foresee it happening within a couple of months or anything like that, because as I've said, they've really revamped the style of the Speedy bandoliers in the Empreinte version. But that's really the only thing to take into consideration. That, and if you end up rubbing up against any abrasive surfaces, then you'll be able to see them, because it doesn't really have a whole lot of, even though it does have the pebbling, it doesn't have a whole lot of structure to, or a whole lot of texture to kind of counteract the rubbing if it was to happen on an Empreinte piece. You'll be able to see the scratches a little bit. But other than that, like I said, I feel that it's very, very carefree. It kind of reminds me of Damier Ebene in that sense, and it's very, very comfortable. And I know that some people have said that they don't feel that the new Speedy Empreintes are as heavy as the first one, so that's also another positive. So all in all, it's a matter of what makes your heart sing. I think that the Speedy bandolier is fantastic in Empreinte, in Epi, or in canvas. It's just a matter of which one makes your heart sing the loudest. But knowing that they have really revamped the style and the way that it wears, I think that that maybe should give a little bit more peace of mind if you were to go that route. So hopefully that was able to answer your question. All right, next one from Mick Bendixson. Hopefully I said that correctly. I've been thinking to buy the GG Marmont size small color black. May I know your thoughts on this bag? Is there a specific reason why you don't have any Gucci bags in your collection? Fantastic question. And I did have Gucci bags in my collection once upon a time. I ended up selling them only because of quality, and I really didn't feel that they ended up holding their resale value as well as they should have for the price point that the bags were. But recently, you know, I kind of talked about this in a previous Minks Monday as well. I feel that Gucci has really come a very, very long way. They've done a complete 180 on their fashion house. They've revamped it. They've really spent a lot of time and a lot of time and money just really revamping the entire brand and really making it very modern and being able to cater to various types of lifestyles. So I do applaud them for that. When it comes to the GG Marmont, it depends which one you're talking about. If you're talking about the camera or the shoulder GG Marmont, I really do like that. I like the leather that they have. I love the hardware that they have. A lot of people talk about how soft the leather is, but it's not soft to the point where it ends up losing its shape, or you know, it's not very, what's the word? It's very durable, but it also looks delicate in that sense, but not delicate to the point where it'll just end up just, you know, becoming a disaster. Not at all. A lot of people love the leather on the Gucci Marmont, like I said. If you're talking about the flap version, you know, while I do like the hardware and I do like the leather, when it comes down to that flat version Marmont, I'm not too keen on it, only because of the heart that it has on the backside. The heart that it has on the backside, I feel that it will end up aging. It'll end up dating the bag. Not aging. It'll end up dating the bag because I think that it's a really cute detail to the bag, but I don't foresee it becoming a classic because of the heart that it has. You know what I mean? That's my own 2 cents. I know a lot of people love the bag, but it's just not for me because of that detail. But like I said before, the other ones, the shoulder bag and the camera style, they have GGs on the backside, and those remind me of the CCs on the Chanel GST. So I think that's why I like that better than the heart. But like I said before, they have great hardware. They're very, very comfortable. A lot of people talk about how comfortable the Marmonts are. And again, the leather is it's very beautiful. It looks delicate, but it's very, very durable as well. So hopefully that was able to answer your question. All right, you guys, so that does it for Minks Monday Q&A. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I was able to help. You guys had some amazing questions this week. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already and you would like to, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the red button down below and hitting that bell so you're notified when I upload videos. videos, which is anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week. And if you are wondering where to ask questions for Minks Monday, if you can put them on the most recent MMQA, it makes it a lot easier for me to be able to see them. But this week's lineup, I have my handbag essentials, and I think I'm going to be doing a review on the Chanel ballerina flats. I kind of touched base on that a few weeks ago, and I might have an extra video on Thursday. I haven't decided, but hopefully, like I said before, you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not, the choice is yours. Have a great day, you guys.